The Philippines and Singapore enjoy close and friendly bilateral relations. The Philippines and Singapore are among the 5 original founding members of ASEAN. Singapore is the Philippines' 7th largest trading partner and our largest ASEAN trading partner. In addition, it was the Philippines' 2nd biggest source of foreign investment in 2018. Our countries are co-operators in maintaining regional peace, security, and stability as members of the ASEAN Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, the ASEAN Regional Forum, and the East Asia Summit, among others. Aside from trade, our countries maintain close political, social, economic, and cultural ties. More than 200,000 Filipinos live and work in Singapore, contributing significantly to Singapore's economic development. 2019 marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Singapore, which was officially entered into on May 16, 1969. The ever-strengthening and deepening ties between our two countries are symbolized in the beautiful icon created for this milestone year, a golden griffin with outstretched wings, bearing symbols of each country. The griffin has the body of a lion, which represents Singapore, and the head of the Philippine eagle, the national bird of the Philippines. One wing is adorned with the crescent moon and stars of the Singapore flag, and the other by the sun and stars of the Philippine flag. This year, the Philippines, led by the embassy, celebrated the Golden Jubilee of diplomatic relations between Singapore and the Philippines through 27 commemorative events. This video highlights the key commemorative events. In March, a group of Singaporeans and foreign diplomats based in Singapore visited the Philippines as part of the ambassador's tour to Cebu and Bohol. The trip promoted tourism to our country as well as highlighted Philippine history and culture. On the official date of the establishment of bilateral diplomatic relations, May 16, the embassy brought together the Philippine Postal Corporation and Singapore Post, who jointly issued special edition commemorative stamps to mark the occasion. The annual Bayanihan Walk was made a jubilee event with the participation of Singaporean officials led by Senior Parliamentary Secretary Low Yen Ling in a friendship walk along the historic Singapore River. The Philippine Independence Day observances in June further highlighted our strong and warm bilateral friendship. A Philippine food festival at the Mandarin Orchard Hotel and a concert at the Esplanade by the world-famous Philippine Madrigal Singers promoted Filipino cuisine and music, key aspects of Filipino culture. The Singapore government reopened the Alcove Bridge with the restored colorful artwork by the late Filipino artist Pasita Abad. Singapore Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan and Philippine Secretary of Foreign Affairs Teodoro Locsin Jr. led the ceremony. The Alcove Bridge was painted in January 2004 in vibrant colors by Filipino artist Pasita Abad, and a team of rope specialists as her gift to the Singapore people. The artist and her crew of helpers used 55 different colors and more than 900 liters of industrial-strength paint to paint over 2,000 circles of different sizes to transform the bridge into Singapore's first bridge of art. Pasita was diagnosed with cancer then. While undergoing treatment, she was determined to finish the Alcove Bridge. It was her last work of art and her gift to the Singaporean people. She passed away shortly after the painting was completed. Nara saplings donated by the Philippine government were planted in Bishan Ang Mokyo Park in a ceremony led by Ambassador Joseph Del Mar Yap and Minister of National Development Lawrence Wong. The Philippine Bayanihan Society held its inaugural Bayanihan lecture at the SMU Auditorium. The topic of the lecture was the transformative impact of helping poor communities. As part of its cultural diplomacy achievements, the embassy staged the annual Art Trek exhibitions of Filipino artists at various Singapore galleries and the One East Asia exhibition entitled New Dawn of Filipino Realism. The embassy was also able to work with the National Commission of the Cultural Arts to bring over the exhibit of exquisite Filipino indigenous fabrics. In September, President Halima Yacob made a highly successful state visit to the Philippines, which included a trip to Davao City. The embassy held its very successful first Philippine-Singapore Business and Investment Summit, which brought 5 cabinet secretaries and 2 high-ranking officials to Singapore to promote investment and doing business in the Philippines. Philippine Foreign Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. delivered an insightful talk to diplomats, think tank analysts, and professors of the Philippines' relations with the 2 superpowers, dealing with the US-China trade war and current challenges in the West Philippine Sea. In November, the embassy launched the inaugural Philippine Film Festival, which screened 4 beautiful Filipino films. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources of the Philippines and Wildlife Reserve of Singapore held the debut of the 2 Philippine eagles at Jurong Bird Park on November 27. The birds are in Singapore on a renewable 10-year conservation breeding loan agreement with the Philippines. The Philippine eagles, Geothermica, and Sambisig are settling into their new home at Jurong Bird Park. They are the first breeding pair to be established outside of their native country as part of a recovery plan. The Philippine eagle, the largest extant eagle in the world, is the national bird of the Philippines and is critically endangered, with only an estimated 400 pairs left in the wild. The embassy signed an agreement on academic cooperation with the Isaias Yusof Ishak Institute. This is the first ever agreement signed between the Philippines and Singapore that aims to assist researchers do work in the Philippines. Finally, the embassy capped this year's celebration by hosting a celebratory dinner and a performance by the world-famous Lubbock Children's Choir from Lubbock, Bohol, Philippines. These are some of the special events in 2019 commemorating the 50 years of Philippine-Singapore friendship. The Embassy of the Philippines thanks everyone who has in one way or the other contributed to the successful celebration of the 50th anniversary of our bilateral relations with Singapore. Together with the 200,000 Filipinos in Singapore, we look forward to bringing bilateral relations between the Philippines and Singapore to even greater heights over the next 50 years. Thank you and mabuhay!